Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect episode 47. Today's date is June 1st, 2020, and I am Duds, or Duds versus known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I am Jimbo, also known as Jimbo Slice 23. So what have you been up to this week, Duds?
Oh, so much. So much stuff. And mainly all to do with Minecraft. No extra games this week. I sat down and said, I am finishing the My Own Survival episode, and there's the motorcycle.
Vroom.
Yay, sounds like they got a new one.
Oh, a louder one.
Yeah. Anyway, so I ended up finishing the episode, and my creativity for the past 3 weeks has been gone. I'm sure anyone kind of paying attention to my live streams and stuff, I have absolutely struggled to place blocks down in a manner that looks good to me. And I couldn't figure out what it was, and luckily I was looking at a build I had done on live stream, this pergola type thing, and then at the same time I was watching Etho, his latest episode, and he ended up using dark oak and bricks, or stripped dark oak and bricks, and I thought that was a beautiful combination. So I decided to combine those colors with my pergola, and it came out really good to me. So I ended up using that for the slime farm storage. Doesn't really go together, but all the theming kind of fits.
Yeah.
After that, I ended up on stream starting to build a spider grinder, which is something I had never done before. And now I know why I never done it before, and why I will never do it again.
Yeah, I had my issues with spiders. Not fun. Yeah. They're hard to control. Get them to where you want them, because they go up walls and stuff, and it's a pain. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Well, I watched a couple tutorials, and I'm like, yeah, as long as they're not aggro, they don't really climb walls. So if you keep them flowing, everything will be fine. Well, that was a lie.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so that's not true.
Right. And then it was, if you have falling water on the walls, they can't climb the falling water. That is also a lie.
Another lie, huh? Oh, man.
Watched them climb right up it. And I went, the itsy bitsy spider, lie. Because spiders can obviously climb water.
Yeah.
It was such a pain. The worst part is I spent like a good half a stream working on this canal / channel / elevator thing, whatever you want to call it, to get the spiders in a good spot so it's going to be easy to kill them. And worthless. I basically had to rip it apart. I built 3 different configurations on how to get the spiders into a killing chamber. And then, finally at the end, I just said, forget this. I'm going to lower the killing floor 2 blocks, make a 1 tall room with flowing water all the way to this back of this little tiny channel. And I'm like, this is it. They can't climb the walls because it's only 1 tall or whatever like that. And it's just so frustrating, but I ended up getting it to work. They will try to climb a little bit, but because it's only 1 tall, if they're out of reach of my sword, I can still get my bow and just shoot them through there. So it's like, But I did all this because I wanted string so I can convert it to wool.
Yeah.
I didn't want to build a crazy wool farm. This is so annoying.
It's a motorcycle, huh?
Jeez. So if I randomly stop and you guys don't hear me say anything, it's because a motorcycle's going by and Carl did a really good job at editing.
Yes. Yeah, we do have patrons that listen to the show live. Mm-hmm. We do have a question from one of them. He asked, are they able to climb up half slabs that are spaced out? Spiders.
I don't know. I didn't think about that, so...
Okay. That was StoneFigure, one of our patrons. He was asking. I'm good. I'm glad to able to watch the chat just in case there's some good questions that should be asked.
Well, now I feel kind of stupid for not thinking about that.
I mean, it's worth a shot. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what they can climb or not climb.
Yeah. Well, I've determined that there has to be a block that spiders can't climb. Period. Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways to stop other mobs from moving around, except for spiders. So I was thinking glazed terracotta would be a great block that spiders shouldn't be able to climb. Sticky slime blocks with sticky pistons, they can't stick to glazed terracotta, so it's like spiders shouldn't be able to climb it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
It'll make a use for such an ugly block.
Mm-hmm. How about this, though? Out of nowhere, my wife left her phone down here, and it's going off. I don't know if you can hear it on your end.
I don't think I could hear it until you started talking.
Okay, yeah, it's the RTX voice. Usually if you say something, it might come through.
Yeah, it's coming through when you say something. It's the amount of noise, like, it was so quiet all weekend. And now I've got a person to my right bouncing a basketball, like He-Man Hulk style, smashing it against the concrete. It's like, it's not going to bounce better that way, dude. And then I got the motorcycle behind me. It's like, God, jerks.
I don't know how many times the phone has got to ring for the person to realize they're not going to pick up, but it's still ringing. Okay, it just stopped. Jesus criminy.
So much noise already. It's like 7 o'clock on a Monday. Why is there so much stuff going on?
No one's got anything to do. The only thing I can think of.
I guess. But what have you been doing this week, Jimbo, other than fighting, ringing phones and such?
Besides fighting phones, I've played some Minecraft. I haven't played in a while, but I jumped on there to play a little survival because I was feeling rusty after playing a little bit on the Ripple Effect server. So I wanted to, start a new world and, just to get the early game grind feel again to see what I'm in for Ripple Effect, really. And I went into the Nether, the newest snapshot, went to the Nether, and the ambient noises really set the mood. Like, I was scared at one point. Like, I was freaking out because just the noises, like some of these noises you hear, you're like, wow, this has got a completely different feel, completely different place. Even when you're in like the Nether wasteland, the regular Nether, you still get a different feel for everything. And I had to go across the basalt deltas. I'm looking for a fortress, I'm trying to get like to the end game, trying to beat it real quick if I can, just to get my Minecraft rust off. And can't find a fortress for nothing. I found like 3 piglin bastions. One bastion didn't have any loot in the chests. None whatsoever. Yeah. I was like, wow. I haven't been there because usually I'll break the chest and just take everything in the chest with me. Because the chest is pretty useful down the line. You might need an extra chest. Usually just break them. And don't break them in front of piglin. Because, they'll all come after you if one sees you. You can do it if they're not looking. If they don't see you, you can get away with it. But if they see you, they're all coming after you. I got away, surprisingly. Haven't died yet, fingers crossed. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I haven't played in a while, and I'm I get on here for about an hour or two a day and play a little bit of survival. And I know what you mean about the enchantments now. Enchantments are pain because I'm getting one at a time.
Yeah.
And I don't have a grinder or anything, so it's taken a while to get the good tools. But that's why I did it, to see what I'm going to be dealing with, and it's going to be more of a grind than usual. There's no fish farms. There's nothing to get you that shore XP or that great loot at the beginning. So yeah, that's what it's like. It's a little taste of 1.16. But I do like the feel. Of the Nether.
I cannot wait for the 1.16 release to come out. I'm ready to get back on Ripple. I'm ready to do some multiplayer.
And you haven't been in the Nether yet, right? You're waiting for that release to get that feel.
Yeah. I stopped talking mid-sentence because I could hear him coming up the street.
Yeah.
But, yes, so it's all going to be brand new to me, but I've also just realized just how much slower single player it really is. The worst part is, the thing I hate the most about Minecraft is starting over. And I realized I started a world that I'm having to put a lot of effort in to move very tiny bit on the in-game scale that is going to be reset soon.
Yeah. I don't mind the early grind. Well, I didn't. I mean, it might become worse now, but it's because it's taken so long. But usually, with the fish farm, especially on a multiplayer server, it's a lot easier to gather things because everyone else has extra of things. But yeah, by yourself, it's really slow. It's hard to get to that level to where you can freely run about. Still not there.
Well, I want to say, wasn't it you and Aubni that had a villager trading area like the first week in Spawn Town last season?
Yeah, that was 1.13. It was a lot easier to gather villagers. Aubni actually went out and got the villagers, and I helped build the trading system, kind of how we did it. He did one thing, I did the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot easier then.
Anyways, let's go ahead and get into our snapshot news if you don't have anything else going on.
No, that was about it. Just wanted to talk about my experience with 116.
More 116 news is snapshot 20W22A. Lot of changes. Some I'm not so happy about. I'm going to go through them one at a time and talk about them after I get done mentioning them. So the big one to me is experimental rendering changes. They said, we've included some experimental changes to graphics rendering in the snapshot, which might reveal some issues on a small number of older graphics cards. That's not so much the problem I have. It's just that 115 put out a rendering update, and I don't notice any change in rendering, period.
Yeah, me neither.
Even with Optifine, I still don't see a big change. And again, I don't have a really old computer. I mean, technically it's about 3 years old now, but it's still close to top of the line at the time. And it struggles with 120 frames in Minecraft. Chunk loading's not impressive or anything like that. Anything past 13 chunks is just like, why bother?
Yeah, it's pretty useful for the end, too. When I go to the end, I go to like 20 or more chunks rendered, just so I can find the cities a lot closer.
Yeah, but if you're on a multiplayer server, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Because it's all about what the server is set to. And I think Ripple was set to 14 last season. Maybe it was 12, I'm not sure.
Now, did they go into depth at all about the older graphics card? Like, what's an older graphics card?
I don't know.
No, I didn't mention.
Yeah, I wonder if the 10s are considered older graphics card. I have a 1070.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good. I've been borderline getting the RTX 2060 Super, but at the price it costs for one of those, I've been like, I might as well just rebuild a PC. Because I've been really wanting to do a micro or a macro RTX or ITX, whatever you want to say. Just a small form factor computer. And it's like, I can't justify that cost. I can't do it. If I sold, because I already have my old computer that I was first using when I first started making YouTube videos. It's doing the backup for the Withering effect. It's also working the camera account. And it's like, maybe if I sold that one or sold the PC I have now, then maybe I would build another one, but I can't justify it.
Like you can't justify that motorcycle.
Yep. This is going to keep happening. We may have to change our recording date and time.
Yeah,
because it's like every Monday at 7 o'clock. They decided to bring them. They didn't bring those motorcycles out all weekend, by the way.
I wonder if when their friends leave, they're like, hey, next Monday? Yeah, I'll be here next Monday at 7. Probably what they're saying by the time they leave. But I did want to say, if I were to rebuild my PC, which I just made my PC video last week, but I would suggest to make it smaller because I got this big bulky PC and I got all the pieces in there. If I would have got a mini ATX board like you mentioned, I think I could have had way more space, way more room, and you can fit it all in one of those mini boards. You don't have to have the big ATX motherboard. So yeah, I agree with that. I would have went a little smaller if I had the chance.
Let's get on to new features. The Piglins now sometimes dance in celebration of a completed hunt.
That's pretty cool. Did you see the, I think it was a joke, the Piglins, or the Hoglin celebration?
Yeah. I definitely don't think they're going to implement that into the game, but it was really funny to watch.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, are you kidding? Yeah, it was pretty funny. The head nodding makes sense, but then they stood up and started salsa dancing or something.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it was hilarious and I love it.
Yeah,
but it doesn't fit in the game. But to me, if I want to extrapolate far out into the future, what Piglin dancing could mean is maybe we're gonna get player emoting. Kind of like how they do Fortnite's the one that sticks out the most in my mind. But how you could press a button and your character does a little dance or does a hand wave or something like that. Maybe that's in store in the future.
That would be neat. Yeah, I'll put
so instead of the normal Minecraft hello where you just hit shift and crouch up and down a lot, you can actually wave your hand.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That could be really cool. Let's get into changes villager workstation logic has changed. Bells can be hung from the underside of more blocks. When a villager that was traded with is struck by lightning, the which it converts to will no longer despawn. Players can no longer mount another entity when crouch key is held down.
Villager struck by lightning, convert to witch, don't despawn. Didn't know about that. I watched some of the snapshot reviews and I didn't see that. I don't know how useful that's going to be. You can't change a witch back, right? So, I mean, I guess you'll know now what happened to your villagers if there's a witch sitting there. I saw some of the blocks that bells can be hung from. Makes sense. Besides the anvil, I noticed you could put it below an anvil, which, they fall. So it's kind of, you'll never get it under there. There's ways, but it's not very easy. The workstation changes.
Yeah, so basically a villager who has a higher rank will get first pick at a workstation, which is a little worrisome because I've got a feeling they're going to get confused more than they already do and try to work on the same workstation.
Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that now.
So, but maybe this is their implementation to try to fix it. Matter of fact, they've expanded on that more. It says villagers no longer try to work at the same workstation. The most experienced nearby villager for the profession corresponding to the workstation you add will get the workstation. Villagers now have to walk and reach the workstation before they can acquire the profession/work there. Villagers can no longer claim workstation/professions during raids or nighttime. Villagers were checked to make sure their workstation is valid at all times of the day as long as they were within 16 blocks of the workstation. Now, that last part also worries me because that's a lot of code and a lot of AI running whenever villagers are near workstations, and I see that as lag.
Yeah, good. Kind of curious how it plays out.
Maybe this new stuff is to fix the villager AI lag, because there is obviously some in there now. But I don't know. I kind of see it as the villagers are having to think more now, so that might cause problems.
Yeah, you might be right.
So you got some news you want to talk about in the snapshot?
Yes, technical changes in 20W22A. Added shader support for accessing depth buffer. Renderer now uses pre-pixel blending layers for some transparent elements. Slightly changed data packs loading to prevent custom data packs from crashing. Cached repeated block type lookups and collisions during pathfinding for increased performance. Minor optimizations in collisions detection. Top level element in predicate file. What? Top level element in predicate file can now be array. All contents will be indeed, right?
I don't know. That's a lot of technical stuff, and like always, we don't really know what all this means, other than the obvious stuff like minor optimizations to collision detection. But we're kind of wanting to put it in there and at least read it, so people who get the news from us can hear it.
Yeah, even though I don't read very good, trying to get it across to you. It seems like whenever you write something out for me, I have trouble reading it. But if I write it out for me, I can just go with it. I don't know what that is.
The best part is I'm not writing it out for you. I'm just copying and pasting it from their website.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to write something and write it incorrectly. So I want to make sure I say it or write it word for word from their website. But yeah, data pack loading.
Yeah, data pack loading. If data pack reload fails, changes will not be applied and the game will continue using previous data. If existing data packs prevent world from loading, the game will give option to load world in safe mode, which loads only vanilla data pack. Changes to data pack list are stored only after successful reload. Added safe mode option in server to load only the vanilla data pack. Game will now detect critical data pack issues like missing required tags and prevent world from being loaded.
I think this is all to help with corruption of worlds. So it's like, hey, there's a problem. So the data pack, instead of loading incorrectly and corrupting the world, is just kind of put to the side. The game realizes it. It goes, okay, here's your vanilla world. Back it up and fix that data pack.
Going into safe mode.
Yeah, which
Makes
I'm all
sense.
for. Anything that can save a world from corrupting, I really like. That's my biggest fear with playing on the single players because I have to manually back up the world. And I do it after every episode, but like the slime farm episode, I forgot to back it up. So it's just like, oh, if I lose this world, I'm rage quitting.
Yeah, a lot of progress lost.
But let's go ahead and get to our Discord ad. This week's Discord ad is from me, Jason. Take it away, me, Jason.
Hey friends, it's me, Jason, and I'm a member of the Withering Effect Discord. It's a great place to talk to your fellow listeners and give your input into the show. You might even get your question or comment read out on a future episode. Join the Discord today. Link is in the show notes, and I'll see you there. Duds 100% this message.
All right. Thanks, me, Jason, for the ad of Discord. If you guys want to do an ad for us, just let us know. We've got several scripts off to the side. We'll have you record something for us, and it'll be played on the show at some point. Let's get into Block of the Week, because I think this is becoming a Discord favorite. Everyone in the Discord seems to really enjoy it, and it's almost like a competition now between two blocks every week. It's hilarious to watch it happen.
And we get a lot of feedback on them, too, like things we don't know. You know, people throw them out there with Block of the Week saying, this one doesn't need change, this one needs improvements. You know, everyone gives a little insight on what they know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But this week, we asked you to vote in the Discord on which of the following blocks Jimbo and I are going to discuss. Your choices were Beehive, Grindstone, and Trap Chest.
And the winner of this week's Block of the Week is... Trap Chest. Congratulations, Trap Chest. I got a couple things here. Trap Chest is crafted with a chest and a hook wire. Gives redstone signal when opened. It's naturally generated in fake end portal rooms in woodland mansions. So that's where you can find them if you were wanting to find them. And can be moved with a piston and bedrock. Didn't know that. And I also wanted to mention how useful they were not too long ago when you couldn't put your chest side by side.
Yeah.
Now that you can, trap chests kind of useless unless you want to use them in some kind of machine.
Yeah, I haven't used a trap chest in over a year at least.
Yeah.
The second we could put regular chests side by side, that's what I went with. Even in my last season of Ripple, the way the automatic storage system worked, I didn't have to have chests side by side. So again, it was just normal chest. And then you have shulkers now, which can be put side by side anyways. Same thing with barrels. So the trap chest has kind of gone to the wayside. But we have some, fixes, maybe. It was kind of hard. Jimbo, you had one fix you wanted to throw out there.
Yeah, I always thought the trap chest should lock. Like, should be your personal chest. You should be able to lock it. I don't feel like you should have a key or anything just in case, that key ends up missing, Just by hand, you should be able to lock it and unlock it. That would make it a lot more useful, in my opinion.
Right. I totally agree with the locking idea. And at first, I was like, you should have to use redstone to lock it. I want to say J-Man also mentioned that in Discord. Redstone should be what you use to lock it. And then I was like, you know what? If you're going to lock a chest with redstone, that's as simple as having a piston push a full block over top of it. Because then you can't open the chest. So technically it could already be locked with redstone. So I was trying to come up with other things that a trap chest could maybe do. And I had the idea. So the trap chest obviously pushes out a pulse whenever you open it. That's how they are trapped. So my thought is maybe the redstone pulse is dependent on how many items are in the chest. So if it's a full chest, it sends out a full 15 length pulse. If there's only a couple items in the chest, it does like a 1 length pulse. Something different. To me, the obvious one that should be in there is let trap chests be moved with pistons.
Yeah.
I get it's kind of a Bedrock thing because Bedrock's coded different. In Java, that would be extremely hard. But I kind of want it.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I could think of is trap chests are really good if you make a trash can. Because if you're using a trap chest won't empty immediately into a hopper. Whenever you put items into it, it waits for you to close the lid and then it starts draining into the hopper. So when you have a trash can, it's nice because if you accidentally put your sword or your pickaxe or maybe a piece of armor in the trash can, you can still pull it out before it immediately gets sucked down in there and eaten.
That's a good tip. I didn't know that. Yeah. I was thinking just how how we used to put them side by side with the regular chest. How much iron we went through for a sorting system is ridiculous.
Yep.
Was ridiculous. But yeah, you could save your iron now. But wow, I was just thinking about that.
Not really, because now the way you do the chest, the sorting systems have become so complex. I mean, we had Cass on, and his super complex sorting system, which I can't wait to build next season. I'm sure I will break it at least once and yell for help. Maybe pull some hair out.
And then I'll come and break it a little more.
Dang it, Jimbo! I'm going to put a sign on my base that says no Jimbos allowed.
Don't know who that is.
I was just thinking, what if Jimbo is like your alternate personality?
Ooh,
like
I think we're on to
it's
something.
it's your Swedish version. So maybe you have glasses and a little mustache.
Oh no, you're gonna make me do it, aren't you?
Everyone's like, "Oh, Jimbo, I am not Jimbo. I am Jimbo." I don't know why I made that accent, but that's my Swedish accent.
Not bad.
I need to talk to Decoy more, see if I can't get his accent down. His accent's tough.
Yeah, it is.
But anyways, main topic time?
Yeah, that's all I got for block of the week.
So our main topic this week... Okay, never mind. You said but.
Yeah, I said but because I wanted people to know that Trap Chest ran away with the competition.
Wasn't even close?
Wasn't even close. It was like 26 votes for the Trap Chest, and the other ones were single digits. I did want to mention that before we moved on.
That's the first time in a while.
Yeah, usually it's like a two-way race out of the three, but yeah, Trap Chest is all alone in the front.
I think everyone realized that if you tie the score, you don't get 2 blocks of the week. So they're just like, forget it.
They tried. Oh, actually, looking now, Trap Chest had 30 votes. Yeah.
Wow.
And Beehive was second with 10.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, main topic. We decided to shape a passive mob and a hostile mob and improve them a bit. I think earlier in the podcasting days, me and Bank ended up creating our own mobs. So we didn't want to rehash that, but there's so many mobs in the game that kind of don't have much of a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And even, at least with my improvements, some of my improvements aren't really giving mobs purpose, but it should make them a little bit more fun to interact with. So that's what I went with. Now, I cheated on my passive mobs. I had like 3 or 4 that only has like 1 or 2 little slight tweaks to it. Jimbo did it correctly. He ended up taking 1 mob and straight up improving it all the way.
Yeah, so I read the directions.
I'm going to let you do your passive mob first, and I'll go through all my little tweaks.
Okay, yeah, my first passive mob, is bats. I feel like there could be more to it. So I went ahead and changed it. I guess the look could be a little bit different. I could see them as, the regular look now. But my first change is they're no longer passive when inside a light level of 7. So if you're going through a cave and it's dark and they're flying around, you're okay. Or actually be a light level of 8. So as soon as you put a torch down, they get aggressive and they start attacking you. As soon as they get in that light level of 7. Now, I saw they spawned at light level, they spawn at light level 3 and under. So it's got to be real dark for them to spawn. So maybe 4 and up, they start attacking you. So it's got to be really dark. But it just gives another element to survival in the caves. You get everything lit up, you think you're okay, and then there's a bat. You got to deal with. But
if that gets put into the game, I will stab you. I hate bats already. They're so tough to kill with a sword.
Yeah.
So to make them attack me now, it's like you're taking the baby zombie difficulty and cranking it up by 10.
Yep. And Mojang's listening. They said so. They kind of fly around aimlessly, like they're very hard to hit because they're such a little hitbox also. But yeah, I know what you mean. Mm-hmm. But if you do kill one of these, my bats, they will drop an item. I'm thinking because of the phantom membrane, maybe a bat membrane, which would give you a potion for like a sonar ability. And these potions would allow the player to see enemies through walls for a short period of time. Kind of similar to the villager bell. When you ring it, you can see the pillagers outside or wherever they're out through the walls. It kind of gives you that ability. But I'm thinking a short period of time. It can be OP if it's too long, like the 3 to 5 minute potions. I'm thinking maybe a minute at the longest, maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I thought that'd be pretty cool to use that sonar ability with the bats.
This was one of your ideas that I was all like, I got excited because this is way better than my stuff. And I had no even inclination to think like this. So the second I read that, I went, oh, that's awesome. Wait, not all bats are blind and deaf or whatever and use sonar, but you're pretty much playing on the lore of bats, which I like even more. And it gives you a super useful potion. Like, people don't understand how much I would use this potion. It would quickly become my number one. So, lighting up caves. Now, I try not to do cheaty camera account looking at the caves or whatever. I try to light caves up when I find them. So it kind of forces me to do it. If I'm building a slime farm, obviously, I need to go find caves and light them up. I don't want to use the camera account to say, hey, go this way. There's a cave over there. Get that one. So I have to use the subtitles down the bottom where it tells you, hey, zombie groans or whatever, and points in this kind of direction.
Yep.
If I had a potion that within, like, I don't know, beacon range could light up a mob so I knew where the mob was, that would be awesome. It would be so much easier to find caves and light them up and know where things are so you don't get surprised around the corner. It's not an OP kind of potion or anything like that. Bats are difficult to kill already, so the fact that they're dropping something that's extremely useful is nice. That would be extremely hard to, I guess, really farm, but I'm sure there's somebody out there will have a farm within 2 days of this. But
I have 100 bats.
Other than the bats trying to kill you, I absolutely love your changes to passive mobs.
Cool. I do agree. So you have some.
I have some. So after reading your bats, I just basically went, oh man, I can't compete with that. But there were small improvements for several things. I went, why is this not in the game? Like, the first one is tropical fish. All the tropical fish kind of look identical. I know they said there's like 100 and something different fish or whatever, but they all have basically the same shape, but they're different colors. And I wanted to change that. I think it would be really cool to have things like crab or shrimp walking around on the seafloor.
Yeah, jellyfish maybe. Or
jellyfish. Stuff you can maybe only find in the warm ocean.
Yeah, with all the other tropical fish.
Thought that would be very cool. It'd be a way to liven up the oceans even more.
Yeah.
The next passive mob update I had was crafted iron golems should follow you around like wolves when you're within a certain proximity. Because obviously iron golems are super slow, so they can't really keep up. And I don't want iron golems constantly teleporting.
Yeah.
Because that's really weird. And also you can't tell them to sit. So
yeah.
Whenever an iron golem is within a proximity, maybe like 32 blocks or something like that, maybe if they see you, they try to stay near you or something like that. A lot of people craft iron golems to help protect their bases or their villages and stuff, and they're really ineffective because they go walking around and they generally walk away from where the fighting's happening.
Yeah, they're never where the action is most of the time.
Yeah, like I remember last season I crafted an iron golem to kind of walk around the base or whatever because I had skeletons spawning and shooting me. That golem never found a single skeleton or zombie to kill. I always had to find them myself and then light the area up.
Didn't he always hang out in like the nether wart farm? You like that?
Yeah. He'd get stuck in the soul sand and never get out. And then when he did get out, he'd go walk to the other side of the base and then walk back and get stuck in the nether wart farm again.
He likes them nether wart. It reminds him of poppies, probably.
Probably. Yeah, my next passive mob is chickens. And I had the idea that chickens should crow at dawn. And yes, I know the chickens are not a rooster or anything like that. But to me, that's just such a little cool thing. And it's a nice way to have ambient noises also. So, yeah, chickens should crow.
Yeah, chickens, I mean, the chickens in the game are both male and female. So maybe some of them crow, random ones crow in the morning. Yeah, I like that idea. Should be a thing.
Maybe make it like a 1 in 4 chance that they crow when the next day comes. My next one, polar bears, is based on the fact that I live in North Carolina, and the big exhibit at the zoo in North Carolina is the polar bear. Now, this polar bear is hilarious because it constantly is playing with this big red ball. he has in his pet. And also, he loves to swim. Swims like crazy. And I don't ever see polar bears swimming in Minecraft.
No.
And I thought it would be really cool if polar bears swam around and then we would return, quote unquote, home. Like, kind of like turtles do. How they have their own little beach where they go to lay eggs and stuff. Maybe polar bears should kind of do that same thing. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe they hunt salmon and all that jazz.
You mean salmon?
Yeah, same thing. See, but as soon as I said it, I went, wait, you don't say salmon like salmon.
No.
But I said it anyway.
What's funny is one of the patrons that I listened just mentioned polar bears should hunt fish. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, see? Yeah. We're on the same page.
Yeah, he just mentioned that. He had something else about iron golems, about you could assign them to maybe a bed. They should stay around that point, which there's something there. Maybe you can, assign an iron golem a certain area. I don't know how you could do it, but that'd be neat to assign them like a station.
Even just making it so, because it's a T-shape, the block you put on the ground to craft the golem, make that its quote-unquote home, and it stays within a range of that one block.
Yep, nice. That'd be cool.
But let's move on to hostile mobs. What do you got for hostile?
I got the Ravager. Now, before I start with the changes, I thought the Ravager was pronounced Ravenger, like Avenger with an R. Not the case. It's Ravager. Ravager.
Ravager.
Didn't know that. Just found that out like yesterday.
And this has been Words with Jimbo.
Yeah. So how I would change this Ravager, it would drop an item that can be crafted into a very durable shield. Ravagers are a pretty thick mob, and another thing I would change is, them, if you do use a shield and get hit, how they're stunned, you would now need the shield from them to get that stunning on them. You can't do it with a regular shield. Though a shield would work, they're not going to be stunned unless you have the Ravager shield. The shield can also be used for melee, so you can, hit another mob with it if you want. I was trying to think of the shape of this shield, because I don't want it like a box shape. I'm thinking kind of like the head of a Ravager. I don't know if that's weird for us to be carrying around a Ravager head as a shield. I'm just trying to think of the shape of this thing. And maybe I'm thinking the shape of the head, like it's got the horns. And that's what's in my head right now with the shape. But I don't know what kind of enchantments you could put on it. Maybe, unbreaking, mending, stuff like that. I didn't think of any certain enchantments for the shield. Maybe that's for another episode. We can come up with something like that. But I there's only one shield in the game, and it's pretty standard. You use the iron. Maybe this one can be crafted with diamonds, and you have like an ultimate shield with that, Ravager drop. I still don't have a name for the drop, but I just know the Ravager is a real thick mob, and it's real heavy, and it packs a punch when it hits you. So it could make a very nice shield.
My hostile mob pick was going to be the Ravager until I saw you pick it. So I've got several things I want to go over. But first, on your shield idea, what if, instead of diamonds or anything like that, you could craft a shield using Ravager leather and bones? So now you have a kind of bone shield that looks real like barbarian style.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking.
That could be really cool. The second was, I think Ravagers should drop more leather than any other mob because they're so big.
Yeah.
The next one was, if you were to kill the rider on top of the Ravager, I think the Ravager should go dormant or peaceful. Just kind of walk around unless it gets hit. So therefore, you can tame it with like sweet berries, and then now you can ride the Ravager.
Okay.
Make it so... Well, I guess it would be fun to be able to attack stuff with the Ravager too.
Yeah.
But
so it's kind of like
a saddle. We should be allowed to ride them.
Yeah, they come with a saddle. Like, I think it's on their skin. But I mean, that's pretty neat how you made it kind of like whoever's riding it is controlling it. And once the control is over, the Ravager is able to roam peacefully. I do like that.
Mm-hmm. The final fix was, I think the Ravager should also drop either its head every once in a while. I was originally going to say tusks, But Minecraft has a thing where they don't want you like hunting animals for tusks and stuff. That's very bad. Don't do that. So I wasn't gonna say that, but maybe the Ravager drop its head and it can create a banner pattern.
Yeah.
I want more banner patterns in the game. We're finally getting some for Piglins, which I think is awesome. So a Ravager dropping something that can be used to make a Pillager banner would be really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So my turn with the hostile mob?
Yeah, which one did you pick?
I chose the Elder Guardian, and I followed the rules this time, so I only chose one. The thing is, when you look at an Elder Guardian, a Guardian, and a regular Guardian, their attacks are basically identical. The Thorn attack is exactly the same. I want to say it's like 6 or so, or no, 2 hearts or something like that. The laser attack is a little different. Like a Guardian does 6 hearts of damage with the laser, and then the Elder Guardian does 8 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit more powerful when it comes to laser, but it doesn't move. So it's pretty easy to take down.
Yeah.
So I felt maybe the Thorn attack should hit a little harder because they're such a big mob. They should pack a punch.
Yeah.
Maybe make it cohesive with the Ravager bite.
Yeah.
Maybe make it so the Thorns don't attack you as often, but when they do attack you, they hit hard like the Ravager bite.
Makes you want to second guess going in there and just attacking. Because usually you see an Elder Guardian, it's dead. You just got to find it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. The next thing I wanted to address was the drops are just horrible. And I get sponges are very useful in the game, but to do all the work it takes to take a Guardian Temple, a sponge, really? Because you might not get a sponge room. There are ocean monuments that spawn with no sponge room, so you may only get 3 sponges out of this entire fight.
Yeah.
And that kind of upset me. So my idea, kind of leading on your thick leather, is I want the Elder Guardians to drop like Elder Scales, and maybe these could be crafted into armor that'll allow for like better water breathing, kind of like the turtle shell, or maybe faster swimming. The final thing was a shield, because I think we both agree that square shield, once you get full-on diamond enchanted armor, gets forgot about.
Yeah.
It's sad because even with full diamond armor, it's a very useful tool. It doesn't use its usefulness. It's just the gain-loss is so much closer together that the inventory spot becomes more useful for something other than holding on a shield. So the idea of crafting a shield with these scales could be really cool. And like you said, maybe that shield can bounce attacks back at enemies. So if something hits the shield, instead of it just going thud and that's it, maybe whatever, it'll act like thorns. So if they hit the shield, they get whatever damage they were going to do to you, it does to themselves.
Would that be incorporated into it, or like an enchantment?
Right. No, it'd be incorporated. All of my armor and tool stuff, I feel Minecraft isn't very good on its enchantments now, so I don't want to leave it up to enchanting. I want custom weapons and armor and stuff that is like loot finds and means something when you lose it. Like when you lose a trident, everyone goes, oh no. Even though you can farm tridents now, it's not the easiest thing to get back. Mm-hmm. And right now, making diamond armor and enchanting it, once you have an enchanting setup with villagers all ready to go, losing diamond armor is nothing. It's 30 minutes at an XP farm, and you're back into the game, going, and everything. And that is perfectly fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. Mm-hmm. I take advantage of that all the time. But for people who maybe want a little bit more risk in the game, it'd be nice to have these cool custom weapon armor pieces that have to be found or crafted out of rare items. Like the Heart of the Sea is a really cool thing because you have to go find it. You just can't farm mobs to get it. So
yeah, like the scales drop you mentioned. If you were to lose this shield or armor that you made out of these scales, you got to hunt down a whole nother temple or guardian. What is it? A monument? Ocean monument. Yeah. Can't believe we couldn't think of it. Yeah, to go get that thing back if you lose it, of course. But you'd be way more heartbroken to lose something like that. Yeah, it gives it a little more risk and a little more. I can't think of the word.
I definitely like the fact it gives more risk, but if you're gonna, allow that kind of risk to happen, you need a good reward. So the items you're risking need to have a special purpose that you can't get on an enchanting table or through a villager. And that's the way I kind of hope Minecraft leans in the future when it comes to armor stuff. Yeah, we got netherite armor and tools. And yeah, they have a bit more durability. And I think some have a little bit more speed. But it's still just going down and grinding for netherite. Yes, it's super rare, which I'm kind of angry about. I'd rather have loot. I'd rather be forced to explore for loot that way. Because exploring just to explore to new biomes and stuff is not really my way of playing. So give me something tangible. Give me a sharpness 10 sword. Man, would I hunt for that sword forever just for sharpness 10.
Or like looting 10.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think I'd want that though. That'd kill every item filter there was in the game.
Yeah.
I say looting 3 already does a big job of that.
But it helps with like wither skeletons.
It would. That would be very nice. That's another thing. A netherite sword should be super effective against wither skeletons.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's not part of the topic, but
yeah,
not a bad idea.
It's just an idea that popped in my head. I haven't thought it out. It could be a totally bad idea, but just an idea.
I have one more honorable mention. And that's the wolf/dog. I feel like dogs and wolves should be completely different mobs now. We have the new cats and the ocelots. They're completely different. I think dogs should spawn in villages along with cats. That would also keep the cat level down, a little bit. Bring in a few more dogs. Maybe, I don't know how many cat breeds there are. You know how many cat breeds there are?
I think there's like 9.
Okay, yeah, maybe
but
9.
We have one dog.
Yeah, there's one dog. It'd be nice to have different breeds. And, you tame them the same way, rotten flesh. Not rotten flesh, but bones. Tame them the same way. Wolves, on the other hand, would be hostile when hungry. So you notice they attack sheeps and, what is it? Is it just sheeps they attack? Chickens? I think that's cats.
I think it's just sheep.
Yeah.
The plural for sheep is sheep.
Yeah. Did I say sheeps? Did I put an S on
it?
Twice? Yeah.
No,
I said it twice. I
could be wrong. English is not my strongest subject.
No, it's my first language that I barely speak. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no sheep around.
I speak villager very well, though.
Do you?
Yeah,
We probably shouldn't go there.
Shouldn't go there, no.
But I feel like if wolves don't have any sheep around, that's plural when I say sheep, it gets hungry and will attack you. You'll see the red eyes, and they'll attack you then, along with if you were to punch one or attack one, you get the whole group on you. And with the dogs, cats have a good use as for scaring away creepers. Now, that's pretty much the only use you get from the cats. Now, the dogs, what they're good at is smelling and tracking. So I'm thinking maybe you can use your dog to track down things, like maybe a spawner, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a monument. I don't know how they get there, actually. Let's scratch the monument. There's other ways to find things, but like a spawner, I was thinking mainly, is something you gotta find by yourself. But maybe a dog can lead you there. Usually the dog follows you, but maybe if you get it in the tracking mode, or maybe you give it something so it tracks it. Maybe you give it like a rotten flesh and it goes, okay, I'm gonna find you a zombie grinder, and you follow it to a zombie grinder. Something along those lines. But it'd be nice to use a dog for tracking.
Well, I mean, I do want to put out wolves and dogs, as of right now, they do scare skeletons.
Yeah, that's true.
I've used a dog or a wolf in a skeleton grinder as a way to move the skeletons quicker, to get into the elevator so I could kill them. But your idea of dogs tracking down stuff is, again, a really cool idea. So, like, what if you walk up to a dog holding a chest? Maybe it can now sense chunks with treasure in it?
Yeah. Something like that.
Or like you said, holding rotten flesh, maybe it takes you to a chunk where a zombie grinder is. Not necessarily like saying it's right here on this block, but it's like, hey, it's in this general area.
Yeah. It's around here somewhere. I smell it, but I don't see it. So you have to, you go from there. Yeah. That'd be good.
But I think that's going to do it for today, right?
Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah. Before I have Jimbo read us out, I want to say huge thank you to all our Patreons who are supporting the show. Our milk level Patreons are Aubni, Crock, Max Johnson, Obeep, StoneFigure, and viperoustuna. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for subscribing to us on Patreon. If you would like to get access to the exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, considering joining at patreon.com/The Withering Effect.
If you like the show, you can share it with all of your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us, or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you would like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@rippleeffectsmp.com, tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord, where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links are in the show notes.
Yeah, this show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be and not in a Ravager. Ugh. The amazing music you hear in the intro and outro was created by the one and only Decoy, and everybody's social media info can be found down in the show notes. You guys have been so awesome. Thanks for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.